Good morning, everyone. Welcome to sadywelljapan.com. Today's lecture is company housing. Company house is legally allowed and you can effectively save your tax. So it's kind of complicated, but please follow me. First of all, what is a company's housing? Let me show you by picture. As you can see here, the structure of company housing scheme is very simple. The company rent the apartment or house for the employee from the landlord, and employee will rent the apartment or house from the companies. But by doing this one, maybe you are wondering how you can save your tax. Let me show you by example. Let's see. At first, in the case 1, before you adopting the company housing schemes, your salary is 4 million Japanese yen. But in the case 2, if you apply the company housing, instead of receiving the 4 million Japanese yen of the salary, annual salary, you are getting the free rent. So in the case 1, you are paying your rent by yourself, 1.2 million Japanese yen for a year. But in the case the company is giving you the free rent, so you are not paying the rent. So instead of you receiving the salary of 4 million, you receive only salary of 2.8 million, but you receive the free rent, which was 1.2 million. So your economic benefit getting from the company will not change. It's the same. But as your salary decreases from 4 million to 2.8 million, your income tax, let's assume that it's a 10%, your income tax is decreased to the 280,000 Japanese yen. As a result, what happened here is your cash in hand was increased to the 120,000 Japanese yen. So by adapting the company housing, employee can reduce its tax payment while receiving the same economic benefit from the companies. So what happened to the company? The case 1, the company is paying the 4 million Japanese yen as a salary. In the case 2, the company housing scheme, the company is paying 2.8 million Japanese yen as a salary. But the company is renting the apartment or house from the landlord, which is 1.2 million. So the company's expenses stay the same. So the corporate tax will not change. So there's no difference. To be precise, if the salary of the employee decreases, the social insurance which the company has to pay will decrease. So the company can save also the social insurance tax, which means the health insurance or pension for the employee. Let me show you another example. The previous case, the employee salary changes, but in this case, the employee salary stays the same. But what will happen? In the case 1, the employee is paying 1.2 million Japanese yen as a rent for a year, but in the case 2, company housing scheme, the company is paying the rent and the employee is receiving the free rent. So the employee doesn't have to pay the rent. So what happens is the cash in hand will increase for the amount of the free rent, which is 1.2 million. By doing this one, what will happen to the company? Let me show you. So the company is paying the same salary to the employee, and in addition to the salary, the company is paying the rent. So the company's expense will increase to 1.2 million Japanese yen. As the expense of the company increases, the corporate tax will become lower, and as a result, the company can save 756,000 Japanese yen of the tax. So the point here is employee, even if the employee pay its rent, they cannot treat the rent as their expense. So that means their income tax will not decreases even though they are paying the rent. But if the company pays the rent for the employee, the company can recognize the more expense, rent expense, and can deduct from the taxable income. Then the company can, save the tax. So why not let the company pay the rent for the employees, and to save, and then you can save the total tax amount of the individual tax and corporate income tax. Instead of giving the free rent for the employee, what happens if the companies give the rent allowance to the employees? So under the Japanese tax law, any economic benefit or given to the employee is regarded as a salary. So if the company gives the rent allowance to the employee, of course the company can record the expense, but employee have to recognize the income. So therefore the employee's individual income tax will increase. As I said before, any economic benefit to the employee will be regarded as the salary for the employee. So the free rent will be recognized, will be regarded as economic benefit to the employee. Therefore, employee has to pay the tax. But there is a way to avoid it. That's the advantage of the company housing scheme. And if the employee pay some rent, the small amount to the companies, that free rent will not be regarded as employee's income. So doesn't have to pay additional tax. So the next question will be how much the employee has to pay for the company. I talk about it at the next lecture. Thank you for listening. Goodbye. Thank you for watching sadywellj.com. My name is Sada. I'm a Japanese tax accountant and helping entrepreneurs in Japan. If you want to know more detail, call me now. See you next time.